Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a massive proposed overhaul for the postgraduate programs at India's very top engineering schools, the IITs. A special committee has basically laid out a whole new blueprint to re-engineer the system, and we're going to walk through exactly what it all means and why it's such a big deal.
So this entire thing kicked off with one single crucial question. A 23-person committee with experts from across the IITs got together to figure this out. Why are our brightest B.Tech students either going abroad for higher studies or, just skipping them entirely?
And their first major finding? Well, it points to something we hear about all the time: the brain drain. They discovered that the most ambitious students feel like the advanced, industry-focused master's programs they really need just aren't here in India. The really cutting-edge stuff is overseas, so naturally, that's where the talent is going.
As they dug a little deeper, the committee pinpointed this fundamental disconnect: a huge gap between what the industry actually needs and what the IITs are teaching in their postgrad programs. This gap, they found, is really at the heart of the problem, and it boils down to two key issues.
Okay, so problem number one. The master's, or M.Tech, curriculum was found to be way too theoretical. It just wasn't getting students ready for the real world. Problem number two. The PhD programs. They're seen as this long, unstructured journey. We're talking up to 7 years, with students sometimes spending the first 2 years just trying to figure out what to research. And to top it all off, a lot of students in these programs aren't even that motivated. They see an M.Tech as a backup plan if they couldn't land that dream job right after their bachelor's. I mean, this quote from the committee's report is blunt, but it just hits the nail on the head. It's a fundamental mismatch. And this isn't just some abstract academic problem, right? It means companies aren't getting the talent they need, and graduates aren't getting the practical skills they thought they signed up for.
So how do you actually fix it? Well, the first big solution is a complete redesign of the M.Tech program. The idea is to move away from this one-size-fits-all approach to something way more flexible and, frankly, useful. And here is their big idea: a dual-track system. It's brilliant. Students can now choose their own adventure. If your goal is to get a great job, you hop on the industry track. That means you swap out the old thesis for a 6-month internship, and you focus on building a real, working product. But if a PhD is your goal, you take the research track, which is all about writing papers and going deep into theory. Let's make this super clear. Under the old system, imagine you're a student who dreams of designing cars. You'd be forced to spend your final semester writing some highly theoretical research paper that might have almost nothing to do with the actual skills you'd need on the factory floor. But now, with the new industry track, that same student can spend those 6 months interning at an actual car company. They're learning on the job, they're making connections, and they are job ready from the second they graduate. It's just a common-sense solution to a very practical problem. Now, let's talk about the PhD program, because the plan here builds on that same idea of making higher education more focused and efficient. The big goal is to fix that long, unpredictable timeline that honestly just scares so many talented students away from a career in research. I mean, just look at the old PhD path. It was often this winding, totally unpredictable road. You could lose the first couple of years just trying to nail down a research topic. That creates so much uncertainty and stretches the degree into this 5 to 7 year marathon with no clear finish line in sight. So the proposed fix is what they're calling a project-first model. Here's how it works. Students apply directly to a specific, predefined research project that already has funding, goals, and a timeline. That means you start your research on day 1, and the whole thing is structured to be finished in a much more predictable 4 years. Another really cool game-changing idea they're pushing is something called networked learning. This is all about breaking down the traditional walls between campuses. The new system would let students officially take courses or use specialized labs at different IITs or even at partner universities abroad, and have it count as a formal part of their degree. So for example, just imagine a student at IIT Roorkee needs a very specific, high-tech laser for their research, but that laser only exists at IIT Madras. Before, they were pretty much stuck. Now, they can officially go spend a semester at IIT Madras, use the equipment they need, and it all counts towards their degree. It's all about collaboration over isolation. Okay, so these academic reforms all sound fantastic, but the committee's report was a little quiet on what might just be the biggest factor of all: money. I mean, can you really convince the best and brightest to stay in research if the financial incentive just isn't there? It's the elephant in the room. And wow, this chart really puts the challenge in perspective. A PhD student might get a stipend of around 40,000 rupees a month. Meanwhile, their friends who graduated with just a B.Tech from the same IIT can often land a starting salary of 2.5 lakh rupees a month. That is a massive financial gap for anyone to look past.
And that really brings us to the final burning question. These new tracks, the focused PhDs, it's all a huge step in the right direction, making higher studies more practical, more efficient. But will these academic changes actually be enough to convince top talent to choose research when there's such a huge financial cliff? That's the challenge that's still on the table.